Well, I'm one of those whose brother was murdered by the Israelis, so I know a little bit about some of the stuff.
Oh, do you want to tell us that story? How was that?
Well, June 8, 1967, Six-Day War. It was in the ship. It was in the international waters.
Whoa.
We had to find out what was going on because the Arabs were being backed by the Cold War, the Russians.
Is this the
The
USS
Soviets.
Liberty?
The USS Liberty, exactly. 34 men were killed. Almost the rest of the ship were wounded. They committed war crimes of all countries in the commission of this terrible 2-hour attack.
How do you feel about being in a crowd here in particular where it seems like there's a lot of support for continued foreign aid and military aid to Israel?
They are believing in perhaps the biblical thing about supporting Israel. They think that God is for those who are in favor of the Israelis, and if you're not in favor of everything they do and so on, you're not on God's side. So that's not true.
So what would you tell someone here who was advocating for, hey, the United States has got to set up massive defense around Israel and give them all the tanks they need and all the bombs they need
I get a lot of
$40 million a year in foreign aid? What do you tell people like that?
I get a lot of agreement that we should just get the heck out of the Middle East and we'll let them work it out.
Including out of Israel.
Including in this group. They are not our only allies in the Middle East. They're not our only friends there. And they're not our allies unless it suits them.
It's a breath of fresh air to hear out of this crowd someone who is really consistent on those conservative, libertarian, non-interventionist foreign policy principles when it comes to Israel and doesn't just give that up because it's Israel. It was mentioned in the Bible.
Not everybody had a brother murdered on the USS Liberty. They have set up, I guess it's these various Zionist groups that are prone to go immediately to anything that looks critical. So they want to make it look like it was an accidental attack, and it was an intentional, deliberate attack on our ship. There's a lot of ironies here. My name is Josie Toughlin, and my brother was Stephen Toth, lieutenant, graduate of the Naval Academy, class of 1963. My husband, who graduated from Yale in 1960, was going around with Moshe Dayan, going on to the Golan Heights till they were fired upon, seeing the Ark of Life. Now, that was 1960. I was married in 1963. Moshe Dayan was the one who gave the orders to fire on the Liberty and kill his brother-in-law, my husband's brother-in-law. Didn't know that at the time.